Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and as you all know, my favorite, greetings to the children of the corn. This is your light-skinned simmer, Ajax87, and we are here today to talk about Star Citizen. And what actually is it? Is it a waste of time, or is it just a pass of time? Well, let's hop in it today as we talk about Star Citizen as a whole. Before we get started, thank all of my subscribers, all of the commenters, and everybody who's liked the videos that I've put out. Your comments and recommendations, suggestions, and all of those things have been very, very much appreciated. And as we continue on through this journey that is Star Citizen, I'll continue to do what I can to show what Star Citizen is like from a new player perspective. So let's get into it. So why are we making this video today? Well, again, it's to kind of clear some things up, some misconceptions, if you will, about Star Citizen itself. Now, I want to identify two subgroups of individuals who engage in digitized gaming, if you will. You have those who I would call gamers, those people who play Call of Duty, Ace Combat, games on consoles such as the Xbox, PlayStation, things of that nature. I call them gamers. Then we have those who are simmers, individuals who engage in digital challenges in which simulate the likeness of whatever it is that they're doing, whether it be aircraft, cars, or just life in general. And so today I wanted to talk in that light and talk in regards to gamers versus simmers. And the first area I want to start off with when we are talking about Star Citizen, whether it be a waste of time or just a pass of time, is the progression phase. And from what I have understand and what I have learned as I played is that though there are things you can do in the world to increase, let's say, constructs such as affinity or making more money or getting armor sets, I don't believe that there's no real progression in the traditional sense that a gamer would see as progressions. There is no leveling up of your character to get better weapons, if you will, or to get better armor, if you will. All that kind of comes as you play the game and you come across different areas, sceneries, and things of that nature. So in that light, I don't think there is any real uh, player progression, as it were. Now, again, you do have the Delphi, which is where you go to look at for all of your organizational influences. So as you can see here, for example, I'm with the Blackjack Security. And you look here, some would say, well, oh, this is progression right here, Ajax. I mean, you start at either not being eligible, being an applicant, and you can go all the way up to, for this instance, lead security contractor. So is that not progression? In a sense, but again, as I mentioned before, it's not the same type of progression as one would originally think when you talk about gaming, as it were. Now, with that being said, the more that you increase your affinity with each of those organizations, the more money you can actually acquire. And when I say more money, uh, there are different contracts and things that become available as you increase your infinity. And as you go through, we will take a look at the mercenary. When you first start out doing mercenary, the only thing that you have is protect the site or call to arms. And you may have the occasional boarding action if you're in the ArcCorp area. But outside of that, you only get things that'll pay you starting out 15k. And that's usually all that you get. As you increase your infinity though, you get things that pay you more funding. And as you see here, more money there. So as you progress in this mindset of it, yes, you get to do things that make more money. But what does that do at the end of the day? Does that really increase your person's level? Well, if we look at our Mobiglass personalization network, as it is referred to, there is nothing here that talks about any type of progression. Now, you can progress your crime stat, but even that gets reset over time. Now, the main thing that you can progress really is your currency, and even that resets when you purchase something. So, nowhere in your person is there anything that shows weapon upgrading, ship upgrading. Well, you can upgrade your ship per se, but that's not necessarily based off of you using a ship. It's really based off of how much money you have to
Now arriving.
upgrade that ship. So, in that light, there is no real particular progression, as it were. Moving on to the next thing, we'll talk about the wipes. In this game, we really can't call it a game yet because it's more of a technical test bed, if you will. It's an alpha stage, so it's not really a game. But even still, there are multiple wipes, and that is a thing that, and before I get on to the wipes, a thing that a lot of developers have been doing nowadays have been releasing half-finished games because they know that people are in such anticipation of it and they don't have patience to wait for the full thing. People know, or developers know, that people would spend money, lots of money, on a broken thing just to be able to have access to it to play it. I mean, look at some of the ships that you can buy on RSI's website. You know, the lowest being $45 all the way up to $1,100. Why would you spend $1,100 on an asset that you may not even have access to yet because it hasn't been fully developed? I don't know. But developers know that people would do it, and so they continue to do it because people continue to fall into that trap. So anyway, back to the wipes. We normally suffer wipes every time there is an update made to this particular digital asset. Whether it be the resetting of your money, the resetting of your ships, resetting of your inventory, or all the above. It just depends. Now, obviously, because this is in an alpha stage, there are things that the developer needs to do to fix to make the game run much more smoothly. And those who are in the Star Citizen community know about the glitches and the things that happen that affect our gameplay. So the developers have to, one, use our experiences, use our issues council's ticket to actually fix whatever the issue is that we're having. Sometimes that requires them to wipe their whole database. Now, some would say, why can't they just save where our progress was and go from there? Well, sometimes that is a lot. There are over 4.5 million players or citizens within Star Citizens. So that is a lot of digital storage to have to save every time you make a wipe. And sometimes it just may not be practical at all. So sometimes, you know, a wipe of everything is required. Now, some may say, well, if they're going to do a wipe, why don't they start us off at a higher dollar amount? That's a good question. I don't have an answer for that. The developers might. But I also assume that it's a marketing scheme that if they continue to reset your progress, as it were, or reset your money, or reset your inventory, reset your ships that you spent with in-game money, that will cause you, as the interested party, to spend real money so that when there is a wipe, you can get your ships back because you've pledged whatever amount of money to get your ship back. That is what I believe what the wipes are. Now, wipes are not good for gamers because this wipes out a lot of time and hours, and for some, hundreds of hours of time put into this digital asset. And for gamers, that's not a good look, especially those who are concerned with what their stats are, what my level is, how people view me in the digital world. I can no longer say that, oh, I'm the best or I'm ranked this amount because the server continues to wipe itself. And so, in that light, Star Citizen is not necessarily geared toward the gamer. Now, when you look at things such as Digital Combat Simulator or Microsoft Flight or The Sims, for instance, games like those are simulators of aspects of life, or even car simulators. They're simulators in the aspect of, you know, life, if you will. And I will speak from DCS since this is DCS to Star Citizen. DCS, you do not progress anything. There is nothing in DCS that progresses aside from your flight hours, but your flight hours really provide no added benefit to your gameplay. All that does is simply say how long you've been playing DCS, and it's more or less for your entertainment, for your tracking purposes, right? And so, in that sense, there is no real correlation to DCS being a game as it is a simulator because it's simulating real life. And in real life, you really don't get any progression per se in a sense of being. I know this is a real kind of awkward topic, if you will, but in real life, the more you do work for a company, for instance, and we'll go back to the Delphi reference, the higher your positioning is, the higher or the more money that you make. And that's what's being simulated within Star Citizen. Is that the more you do work for a company, the more good work you do for a company, the more that they pay you for it. And then at a certain time, you make enough money to where you don't have to work anymore and you just kind of chill, if you will. And so that's something to be mindful of when you look at Star Citizen, whether it's who it's supposed to appeal to. And so Star Citizen is not a game, and it is not a real game that you can purchase that you can only make pledges toward. What is Star Citizen then? I would like to refer to it as a space life simulator because when you think about it, it simulates life in the space aspect because it's not predominantly, spacecraft or anything like that. No, it's you as a first person simulating life itself. For some reason, my contract isn't tracking. And so that is what is happening in Star Citizen. It is simulating life. And much like DCS, it is simulating aviation. And so with that being said, there is no real particular progression that occurs. It's just life in and of itself. You have to wait on the tram. You have to go eat food. You have to go drink water. You have to go out and make money to make sure that you can do things in life, if you will. And so that's kind of what Star Citizen is. It's a space life simulator. And the only thing that really progresses is your skills within the game, within whatever career field that you decide to go upon, whether it be a mercenary, whether it be an Amazon, driver, whether it be whatever it is, just making money, marketing or whatever, being a trader. All of these different career paths are available for you within the Star Citizen universe. And I think that's one of the things that makes Star Citizen great. It's not a game so much as it is just a life experience. Because we can look at the wives as, hey, you fell on hard times and you had to file bankruptcy and start from the gutter again and work your way back up. And so again, that happens in life. And so I think that's one thing that's good about Star Citizen is you can choose whatever it is that you want to do. It is not linear. It is not directing you to go here or go there. You can actually explore and do whatever your heart's desire. You don't have to work if you don't want to. You can be a bum or you can be a pirate. You can be anything you want in a Star Citizen world. And I think that's one of the three things that's great. And so I'll close off by saying that I believe Star Citizen is an interactive social platform. It's the next level of social media where you can actually digitally meet with people and go out and have a good time. You can randomly meet with someone, invite them to your party and say, hey, I want to go and let's go do some fun. You can make your own fun in this game. And that's one thing that I like about Star Citizen. It is a social construct where you can make whatever fun is for you to you, if you will. So that's kind of my take on what I think Star Citizen is. Is it a waste of time? Well, it depends. Are you a gamer and do you like to see progression? Then maybe so. Or is it just a passive time? If you're someone who likes the social scene, then hey, Star Citizen can be for you. So anyway, that is my take on it. I appreciate you all coming and listening to my video and my talk on what I think about Star Citizen, especially after being here for about a month or so. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below if you like what you see. If you have any suggestions or comments or anything, I appreciate y'all. Thank you for your time, and I will see you all among the stars. This is your light skinned simmer, Ajax, and I am out.